What up, people? What up? It's September 30th, 2024. We are literally 3 months exactly before the end of the year. This year has gone by very quickly, but I suspect for people from North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, all the way down to Florida, they're having a fucking horrible end of September. I lived through this hurricane, had no clue. Sam, you were here. I had no clue the storm was going to be like this. I've lived through these things my whole life, and we had a great adventure. I will say that me and the kids did have a good adventure, and we'll never forget it. But I saw 12 feet of water come up. Like, I don't know where they're coming up with 8 feet. I measured it. I had 12 feet of water surge. Wow. Now, you know where I live. I live in that. The water tends to bank up. It's got nowhere to go. I've never seen water like this. I cannot imagine. And maybe this is why I'm just triggered. New word. But the amount of water flow, at some point you just realize, oh shit, like I have no control over anything. This water is moving so fast with so much power that I could easily lose my arm just trying to move the boat. I'm like, well, why am I fucking around with this $40,000 boat? It's like, who cares if it, dies? Ended up with you will not believe this. You'll have a job. Oh yeah, you're here. When we do finish this, go in the backyard and look at what's hanging out in the backyard. It's a 300 or 400 pound sign that says, slow down, no wake here.
No way.
So this was buried, dude. Like the post is this wide. Telephone line, telephone pole, and it's sitting in my backyard. You and I could not pick it up. It's 400 or 500 pounds, maybe more. My kid, of course, is going to rip off all the signs. It says, do not wake, no alcohol, no pets, no floating on the beach. She's going to put all this in her. We went around, and then you can give your observations, but we went around Shell Isle. We tried to get to Treasure Island, 1 mile from it. Still can't get there, dude. This is day 4, and we were 100 miles from the storm. I'm telling you, there are thousands and thousands of people dead in North Carolina. They're in their cars, drowned. It's so sad. And where the fuck is the military, dude? No FEMA, no Chinooks. We should look like Afghanistan right now, or Ukraine or Israel, with equipment and guys in green suits walking around, making sure that people are safe. And I don't see not one. I don't see a president. I don't see a pretend president. I don't see a vice president, a senator, or a congressman. Where are they? And I've been saying to you, dude, this is like so on point. I think we're going to have another number of events this week. Verizon, funny enough, 10 a.m. went down from New York to San Francisco to San Diego, Chicago. People are down with Verizon. If you have a Verizon line, let us know if you're live or if you're down. And if you have any explanation whatsoever, what the hell is going on in this country. If you're concerned, repost the room, and we'd like to have your thoughts, your comments, your views. Hopefully you guys are safe. If you're not safe and you're wet, like I get you, man. It's I got very, very lucky. I have neighbors that are they're still dealing with this. And we'll be dealing with this for months. Right at the turn of lowering interest rates, pushing the money printer, $250 billion weather storm, at least. This event, they were saying 2 days ago that it was 110 billion. It will be $250 billion at least. In fact, why don't you take over? I'm going to go try and find out what was the biggest storm. This is much bigger than Katrina did. Much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, we got very fortunate in certain parts of St. Pete. I got very fortunate, but then, yeah, like I have friends who I was helping out over the weekend who some of them had just moved here, just bought a home actually, and now their whole place is gutted. Not only is it gutted, the sewer system, I had to be shut down, and that sewer water got into a lot of people's homes. So like I was in with gloves and a mask, just helping them throw stuff out that's still waterlogged, because the mold grows literally within a day. So they're like, hey, by the way, like if you're entering this house, wear a mask. It is, and that's just in Florida, and that's just flooding. Yeah, I was looking at North Carolina, and these hurricanes are way worse when they hit the mountains because all the water just floods into the valleys. Right here, we have these canals, it drains, you have flooding, it's terrible, but there are whole towns just gone in North Carolina, just literally just nothing left. And to your point, it is very weird to me that I haven't seen any action by Biden or Kamala Harris with the governors of those states. I mean, normally that's like the front and it's just very weird to me. I haven't seen this before. Normally it's like a front and center thing. Like to your point, I'm used to seeing people on helicopters saying, hey, we're working with the governor of this state. We're unleashing as many funds as possible so that stuff happens as quickly as possible. And I'm not hearing anything. And it's very odd because I don't know what's actually going on. And people say things like, oh, well, it's because they're actually working. I'm like, the president and the vice president during natural disasters aren't hands on the ground moving stuff. They're directing and making sure that all the funding and organizations are targeted, right? So they have the ability to essentially tell the American people, here's what's going on, here's how you can get help, here's the resources we're working with. But I don't see any of that. So it's just very, very odd. And then, yeah, with Verizon and now what's going on with the ports on the entire East Coast, it's crazy. It's hard to figure out what is just our infrastructure decaying and what's on purpose. Like, is this just 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of negligence finally coming home to roost, or are we being targeted? Like, that is always, and I honestly, I don't know. I don't know which one it is, but Verizon to be down, especially right after a hurricane, it's very odd, very odd. Yeah, April 1927, when the Mississippi River spilled over the banks and inundated over 27,000 square miles of land. It's crazy. Wow. And apparently Kamala Harris, when they were talking about the strike on the ports, right, which is probably like a very huge deal, she said she had not thought of it at all or too much.
Unbelievable. This is the let's see if I did that wrong. I'm going to share what we're talking about. First off, the most costly hurricane in the United States was Katrina. Can you see this? At $294 billion. That's 2017 dollars. This storm will be most certainly bigger than that. So you're looking at, a third to a half $1 trillion. Okay, like seriously, that is a shitload of money when we're already getting ready to print. So here comes PPP. Unless they're just going to leave these people to die, right? Which looks like we may be building up for that. Now check this out. Can you see this map?
No, share that tab. Or is it the list of costliest Atlantic hurricanes?
Yeah, no, this is share this tab instead. Let's see. You see Philadelphia?
There we go.
Look at this, bro. Okay, this is what we're talking about, shutting all of these ports down. Okay, now why would anyone do this? These are tankers from the Middle East, from China, from all over the world. They take and they receive, right? They're taking stuff away. This is a whole system by which you have cargo going in and going out, dropping stuff in Port Everglades, dropping stuff in Wilmington. Look at who's going to get to Savannah. Okay, nobody's getting to Savannah this week. Nobody's probably going to get to Jacksonville. All these ports sitting there. Where is any of this product going to go? Ain't going anywhere. Where is the product that's going to come from the middle part, the gutting of the U.S.? All this has been gutted right here, stripped. There's no roads, man. Like if you don't think the supply chain's getting ready to get completely fucked up again, people are like you're not thinking. Okay, the supply chains have to get deconstructed here. You can't even get people out of their homes. I mean, not to be last night I did a space. I had over 1,000 people in this room. People are looking around going, I'm asking the question, hey, am I being too paranoid? I am starting to think that I'm getting a little, it sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm worried too much. And it's like, okay, Gary's just a nervous little Nelly, but it sure seems like a lot of crazy crap going on. I don't believe in too many coincidences, right? So, I mean, at some point, I think, hey, wait, like now, I don't think the weather. People went all weird last night. They were like, okay, they constructed this storm. I didn't say that, but this is what happens to a country or a business that's mismanaged. All you need is one little fucking problem. So you had another problem that you didn't expect, and all of a sudden, then it just spins up. And you've been in politics a long time. You know, their holy grail is, hey, look, if there's chaos, make sure that we get we can raise some money on the back of the chaos. Yep. And this is chaos like you read about. So if you're insane, if you're a psychopath, what are you going to do? You're going to support this storm, or are you going to go, let's let this shit drag out a little bit, right? Maybe less people will go vote. Ooh.
It's very odd. I mean, if you look at even the hurricane Florida got hit by in 2021, there's pictures of DeSantis and Biden at the same press conference, walking together, talking together. And I have, if you want to share my screen, I just have a map of the power outages, so you can literally see.
Is there any way for us just to put this up and just bold this GC for president? I'm cashing it. He's on it, baby. That'd be a horrible job right now. Let me tell you, anybody running for president this can put 13 sentences together. He's a man, dude. I wouldn't want that job. Yeah, let me get your, there you go.
Yeah, so there's the level of impact. You can see it goes all the way through North Carolina into Virginia. Boom.
Now that's a power grid, okay? So let's imagine, do you know what the temperature is up there? Because I'm pretty sure it ain't 90. It's probably getting in the 70s, which is probably a good thing. But guys, let's imagine there's highways and roads all in that. They're gone. Okay, so how does anything from Illinois get product from the East Coast? You are completely fucking up the supply chain logistics here. Okay, they are altered now, immediately altered. And you're probably a year and a half from building anything. Now, you know, the Pentagon, the Pentagon in the United States, and you know how long that took to build?
I actually have no idea.
10 months.
No shit, really?
One of the largest buildings in the world, dude, 10 months. See, this is, we have so much regulation. If we want to get serious, we take all that money we're spending with the Jews, and I'm just going to say it, okay? Sorry, dude, that's the name. The Jews or the Israelis, whatever you want to call yourself, you're causing too much trouble now. So you're too small of a population to be causing this bullshit. It would be like saying a bunch of gays have nuclear weapons and they're creating destruction. Like, it's the same level of population. I'm so sorry. But all the money that's going to Ukraine, we bring all that money right back, dude. We do a multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure fund. You remember what I was saying about Europe's going to do a nuclear infrastructure super clean?
Yep.
Like, all our dams and highways are 50 years over budget. I mean, they're old, man. Like, I would do a super bond and let's build America. All the prisoners go to work. Like, everybody in jail, dude. You want a free meal? Cool, dude. You're working on the chain gang again. You illegal immigrants, you want to get a blue card that we can postpone tomorrow morning? You're going to work building the next highway, dude. The 101. Okay, let's rebuild for the 21st century. You don't want to go to high school, go to college. You don't want to go to the military. Build infrastructure, baby. Let's go. Everybody can make $5,000 a month. That'd be about right. No, $5,000 to $20,000 a month. Building infrastructure. Let's go. Like that would be awesome, dude. Awesome. I'm in for that. If we're going to print money, let's print money and do something proper with it. Like build, you take money that you can print for 3 cents and you then build a bridge. You build a bridge that's going to last 100 years. Wow, that's genius, man. That comes from, about 2 years of economic study at a college. Okay, you don't have to be a genius, whiz kid, figure out. Let's stop sending the money outside. Let's put the money inside, fertilize our own garden, water our garden, make sure the infrastructure in that garden's good, and keep replacing the crops and build something for a change instead of constantly going around destroying shit with bombs. Sorry to go off. I'm so pissed off about this. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean, and it gets worse because every time we do pass a bill for infrastructure, you look at what happened in California. Like, where's their high-speed rail that they've been working on for 10 years? They have less than a mile built, a bunch of pylons, and nothing to show. Where'd the money go? Right? Like, that's the problem. People will be like, well, we try to pass infrastructure, but certain people don't want infrastructure. Part of the problem is because by the time it actually gets down to the construction worker to start building, it's 1/100th of the amount of money because there's a consultant that gets it who then has to dole it out and they hire another consultant. So infrastructure just becomes a way for them to just dole out money to people they like and nothing ever gets built. So it's very disappointing. I mean, we're very fortunate in Florida. Our infrastructure is better than a lot of states and things get done quicker, even though they're still slow, quicker here than other places. But it's insane to me. Yeah, it is. It's called pork. They used to have the Panhandle part of Florida. The politicians there used to be called the pork chop gang because they used to have a lot of oversized power and used to always put all these things in the bills to give the Panhandle money before Florida was all fully developed. So they still reference that in Florida politics, but it's ridiculous.
Bro, they're talking about 45,000 dock workers. Okay, these are guys that actually move the containers, put them on the ship, and remove them. Right, move them, ship. 45,000 longshoremen from Mobile to Newark, New York, or potentially shutting down tonight. Now, if I was president of the United States, or if you were president of the United States, what would you do right now?
I'd be calling the union boss.
Bro,
and I'd be talking to the port authorities.
I would tell him he's not going to have his job tomorrow morning if he does this. Okay? Like, bro, you will be exterminated. I don't care how you do it. Take the motherfucker out. You can't remove 45,000 people that help people get rice and beans and hammers and nails to fix the world. That's ridiculous. Now, the good news is I think these unions, didn't the unions break away and not support? 100,000 Verizon customers have lost service.
So the Teamsters union, which is the largest union in the U.S., has said they won't endorse either candidate, which is a very big deal because they've always endorsed the Democratic candidate. This has been a coming issue for the Democratic Party for a while because they've just essentially abused blue-collar workers and expected unions to remain supportive. And that's not the case anymore, right? So now the unions are all fed up. I think... So what was the stat that I saw earlier? It said our economy is going to be costed $5 billion a day from this shutdown.
Yeah, just from the ports. Yeah, and that probably makes sense. Now they get paid, right? Do the doctors get paid minimum?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. Maybe they don't. Normally in the union contract, I don't know the union contract, but a lot of times I think they do. But that $5 billion, I mean, I know that's a rough estimate, but that's got to compound because every day your delivery is late, and those ships then have to wait out in the ocean, and then you have to pay fines and shipping fees for the shipping costs. Like I remember when we had port shut down, I forget, was it 2 years ago? And you could see all these giant tankers just sitting on the coast of Florida, waiting to get their goods in. Someone told me the math, but it's like a couple $1,000s every day the tanker has to just wait out in the ocean. And some of them would be there for a week or more, right? So those problems compound. Oh,
Yeah,
what a great picture. What's that say?
most
No money
certainly.
for you.
Yeah, man.
Israel and Taiwan. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Dude, this is bigger than Katrina. Remember how many people were freaking out? This is bigger than Katrina, I'm telling you, okay? And it's going to impact supply chain. It's going to impact the economy in some way. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is maybe it doesn't. When I say it affects the economy, it's going to impact the economy for sure. The question is, does it impact the stock market? Now, does it really matter? You know, does it matter if it impacts the stock market? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm not in the stock market for the most part. I don't think it's, doesn't make the economy feel good, but just a bunch of rich people losing some stock value. Okay, that may happen. Doesn't ever seem to happen. See, this is the bizarre thing. We seem to be able to have wars, constant wars, not little aggravation neighborhood spats, dude. We're talking about billion-dollar events, real weapons, real people dying in volume. I could name a few if you like. And then I see stuff like this. And then the market doesn't react negatively. It maybe this is the world where everything goes wrong and it doesn't make any sense. You can't even invest in this market, man. It makes no sense. I mean, Bitcoin makes sense to me in this kind of, like, when you look at all this, you're like, wow, we need a whole new system, not just new money. And I'm not saying the storm was created by anybody, but like the response to the storm is I mean, it's disgusting, man.
Yeah, it's still, like I said, it's just very odd. And my theory is because it would need to be Biden that's front and center, right? Because he's the commander in chief still, and they don't want to put him front and center because it not only
But
takes away from Kamala, but
it wouldn't stop her from saying something, though. Okay,
it shouldn't. Yeah,
like, why aren't they on TV going, "Hey, this is a big problem, and we're on it"? I haven't seen the FEMA guy. Do we have a FEMA head anymore? Because I hadn't heard him.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, if there's 4.5 million people, like, look, here's a guy that says, I don't have service and nowhere near Western Carolina. Hey, if you guys are anywhere in the area, if you're within 250 miles of Tennessee, North Carolina, the whole area, hit us with a comment. If you can't hit us with a comment, one, you're probably, hey, why am I on X, dude? I got shit to clean up. Totally get that. But if you are available, like, tell us where you're at and if you're being impacted, because the news on this one is weirdly silent. I mean, when you go on CNN, I don't know if you've tried this, but if you go on mainstream media and you look for news, it's really pretty thin. The first picture I see, in fact, I'll just share this. This is the first picture I see on CNN. I see grounds or military stuff in Israel. And then to the right, I see more than 100 killed from Helene. The death toll is rising. We already know there's a lot more than 100 people dead. You see this, man? This is weird, dude. Okay? Like, this is very odd.
I'm reading. So Trump's in Georgia today and going to be going to some of the towns that were devastated. It is. It blows my mind. Like, I don't understand the strategy that the Harris campaign has behind what they're doing. And then by the way, I don't know if you know this, it always goes under the radar, but our vice presidential debate is Tuesday, I believe,
Oh,
between
really?
Vance and Walz. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that'll be interesting. What do you think that'll look like?
I think Vance is going to destroy Walz. Vance is like Vivek. He's very good at speaking and turning
Oh, is he?
complicated, complex issues. Yes, I don't know if you've heard him speak, but him and Vivek are very good at nuance. So I think he'll actually do very well. I just don't know how much people will watch it.
Well, who cares, right? I mean, I'll watch it. I think it's going to be interesting.
Stuart Lackey. We were in Macon County, North Carolina all weekend. We got out, but surrounding areas facing catastrophic circumstances. Yeah, man.
Stuart, I'm holding a space later tonight. My typical Monday finance show. Show up, would you? I'd like to hear your comments. I can't imagine. And good. I'm glad you got out, man. I would have thought that would have been very problematic. I mean, just to give you some idea, took me an hour to go 1 mile. To get to Treasure Island took me over an hour. And I have a license to be here. So like if I want to, I'm, hey man, it's me, you let me in. But I don't do that and stress because it's not fair to other people. We didn't have any bridges collapse. Okay. We had people on Howard Franklin. I couldn't believe Howard Franklin between St. Pete and Tampa, big concrete bridge, and people were literally flying down the road and water's hitting them from the side. Just multiply what happened to you by about 20. And that's what's going on up north. Why is anybody talking about this? I mean, we should have military Chinooks flying all over the place. It's happened Friday and Saturday. It's Monday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if this would have been, 20,000 troops that landed from an invading. Oh, wow, we actually have people invading us, right? But so we don't do anything then either. But you have all these migrants, you have Verizon down in places, you have a port strike that is grossly poor timing. Doesn't feel like it's politically motivated, except that they're probably like, hey, we can lean into this pretty hard, right? If you're the union, you're like, oh, it's like we got a month before the elections. We should be able to get what we want here. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
that's why the head guy said, he's like, we're in no wait. Like, we can wait all as long as we want. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about, unless you have something else, let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit. Evidently, and I have not been able to confirm this, if any of you Bitcoiners out there have some data, it's my understanding that there's a new rule on the way Coinbase is treating withdrawals. And then as soon as that news came out, I think Bitcoin took a $1,500 dump. I have not had a chance to really look at this rumor or data. If anybody has anything on it, please let us know.
It's a rule on selling your Bitcoin?
Again, I was in the middle of a fairly heavy, I have not had a chance to look at the data. I had a couple of people saying, hey, look, there's withdrawal issues again on Coinbase. Again, I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but when I saw the market react to it, it's like, oh, that's not good. So I'm just flagging the issue. I'm sure there are people be out there, but it moved from 65.6. It was trying to do 66, and it's moved down to 63.6. It's maybe just a normal correction to get us back into testing the 62, 61 boundary. I've been hoping that we would get back into the 50s again so I could buy some more. And maybe one of these events would do that, but it doesn't seem like it's going to drop much. But it was correlated, at least rumor-wise, it was correlated with the Coinbase gossip that, so it was related to the potentially related to the withdrawal of Coinbase funds. It's some type of rule change, so maybe we can find it.
Do natural disasters ever affect Bitcoin price? Have they ever? I don't think so.
They may affect, there's some gossip or rumor about, who's been impacted as far as miners. So you might have some miners impacted. Yeah, I can't find any news on the whole Coinbase things.
No, I just saw starting in 2016 requires crypto exchanges and payment processors to report information to the IRS. That's all I found. I haven't seen anything on a rule change.
Yeah, well, let's go through some of the comments. We've got 1,000 people in the room, so hopefully,
yeah, Waltz, A1 saying Waltz is an airhead. I do think that's true. Definitely acts like an airhead.
Yeah. See, I don't even care about him. He's a non-thing,
Yeah.
I don't think vice presidents are really that important.
It depends. It depends. But yeah, a lot of them just get sidelined. This is why you don't put 100% of your Bitcoin or crypto into a centralized exchange.
Yeah, somebody was trying to, because we were talking about it briefly last night. They were saying, well, real Bitcoiners don't hold stuff on the Coinbase exchange. They're like, hey, guys, if this is true, this is not good for Bitcoin. Okay, any infrastructure that gets hammered or changes, it's not good for Bitcoin. So don't be so stupid and say, well, just because you're not a real Bitcoiner. Michael Saylor most certainly is a real Bitcoiner, and most of his Bitcoin sits on Coinbase. So you guys just need to mature, grow up a little bit, and understand this is a big, big market. And in order for us to get adoption, we need other people in it. Not everybody's going to carry a seed phrase in their back pocket with $300 million worth of fucking Bitcoin. It's just not the way the world works. So you guys got to get over it, man.
I've heard Bitcoiners lose the pitch because they directly go from, well, you buy it on Coinbase, and then they say, well, then you have to move it over to a hardware wallet, as if you can't just buy it and then hold it on Coinbase. And I see people's eyes go, man, this sounds really hard to manage. So I'm like, they miss a whole sector of the population, I think, because of they equate it all together. Oh, to buy Bitcoin, you have to then hold it on a hardware wallet. Like, well, if you're a grandma, you don't necessarily want to hear all those extra steps.
Yeah, well, and I also, think that it does have some billionaires show up and let me know. Let them pitch the cold wallet deal to me. Okay, when you have $12 on your Bitcoin wallet, you can't tell me how to hold many life-changing different wealth. Okay, and look, you can do whatever you want. It's just not a good pitch. Okay, real Bitcoiners. The other phrase that really gets me is you get what you deserve. You get Bitcoin when you deserve it. It's like, bro, you're such a shamer. I mean, there's so much shame in that comment, criticism. It's like, oh, Grant Cardone's going to be an idiot because he's just not good enough to get Bitcoin at 30 cents. It's almost like a religion. Oh, yes, yeah. You had to wait in purgatory until God let you through because of those 3 masturbation events you had in 2022. Okay, I am a sinner of great proportion. That stopped me from going to church since I was 16 years old. Priest told that to me. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to hell, so I ain't coming back wasting my time 1 hour a week in church.
Not everyone can use OTC. Oh yeah, Coinbase Prime Custody is a separate entity. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I was thinking though, you know what's funny is if you have a hardware wallet and your house gets flooded, because I do both. I have some on exchange, I have some on in a hardware wallet. I was like, how screwed is the Bitcoin I have on a hardware wallet if my place floods right now? And I have the backups and the seed phrase, but it's there's always a risk. There's always a risk no matter what you do. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it is confusing. It's going to get better. I mean, I still say when you talk about Bitcoin, uh, it's stunning to me that we got to $1 trillion. It was just total amateur hour, man.
You mean that we got to $1 trillion with like the marketing that we have?
That we were able to get to a market cap of $1 trillion with a bunch of ponsters and know-it-alls and central bank. Hey, I'm going to, turn over the central banks, which look, I'd like them turned over too. Okay. I just don't think the frontal approach is the best approach. Hey, we're coming for your federal wallet to be able to print money. I think maybe being a little quieter about it, Trojan horsey, strategically, may be a better message. But we're in now. So but it is surprising to me that it's $1 trillion and it's had we're still talking about people still shaming people over buying an ETF. It's like, wow, you guys are going to really be upset when you see the end of this party, because there aren't going to be any freedom fighters owning Bitcoin. I mean, there will be some, but the vast majority of people are going to be institutions and people like me and you.
I had a quick question for you that I just thought of, by the way, just real quick, going back to the supply chain stuff. When you were doing your oil and gas, were you dealing with just pipes or were you dealing with shipments? Were you dealing with boats overseas crossing the Atlantic or the Pacific?
LNG tankers?
Yeah.
Or crude oil tankers?
Yeah. Because my follow-up would be is if you had to deal with any supply chain shocks due to some of this stuff that we're going through.
Of course, dude. Like that was the play, right? Like constantly you're looking for an arbitrage. You're looking for a displacement where, I'm long a unit of energy in Louisiana. This is why I keep saying the energy's too cheap in the United States. My brother actually got it. He's now online going, hey, you know what? I think our prices are too cheap. And he's recognizing, shit, nobody turns anything off. Exactly, dude. Who leaves their car on? Okay. Just comment in here. Okay. When you drive up to the store, okay, or into your garage, who the fuck leaves their automobile running all night long? Can you please let me know which of you people do that? Now, why don't you? Because you're going to wake up and have an empty tank of gasoline, right? And it's going to be expensive to get an Uber with a 5-gallon tank, go to the store, bring back, unless you have a gasoline tank at your house. See the difference? You have a electric tank at your house. It just keeps showing up. Nobody ever turns it off. The price never changes per usage. And so people don't turn it off. And then we get a bunch of green idiots flying around the world saying, oh, we should stop fossil fuel because it's so bad. Really? Maybe we should stop wasting the fossil fuel. Maybe you shouldn't have taken an electric car to a protest, right? Like maybe all the clothing on your back is made from petroleum and you're sitting there bitching. Your umbrella, petroleum. Your Coca-Cola was made in a laboratory that had specific heat needs and chemicals, and like our whole world would be totally different without oil, man. Like completely different. We wouldn't be doing any of this. So people are just wasting the shit out of energy. I don't know how you change that unless you go to a digital. If you go to a digital world, you might be able to actually let price influence behavior, right? Price will literally influence behavior. Like I liked Uber surging fees. And then they wanted to make that illegal. I'm like, why are you making that illegal, dude? Surge fee. Why? We don't want everybody leaving the office at 5 p.m., slamming the highways. You want people leaving at 3, 4, 5. Okay. Why are people driving 50 minutes to go to work? Why would you do that? 50 minutes there, 50 minutes back. I mean, you must hate your family. Like one of my daughters wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They were arguing with each other about, my older daughter not taking my younger daughter to school. I'm like, hey, your job is not to take your sister to school, dude. That's my job. Okay. I'm cool driving to school with my kid, spending 20 minutes, 30 minutes listening to music that she likes. And then I drop her off, and then I get on the phone to you or other people, and I start talking business. But I like that little time. I don't know how I got on that, but maybe it's just about like, hey, what are we spending our time on?
Yeah. Well, and to your point of everything being like mispriced, I mean, how do these supply shocks get priced in? Like when you're talking about oil and arbitrage, like what's going to happen the longer these ships are delayed, right? Like how do you create an arbitrage opportunity when nothing can get in though? Like where does that even, who can fill that gap when the infrastructure is just gone?
There's always the ability to arbitrage now. Always. For instance, in 2020, I still have toilet paper that I bought. Now, people laughed at me, but if you go in my garage and you see all that stuff stacked up, that was double 4 years ago. I haven't bought toilet paper since 2020. I mean, I think my housekeeper does buy it, and we just leave that stuff there. Now, in fairness, I knew I was getting a divorce, so I was buying some for me and buying some for her. I like, you did not see me panic one iota. I canceled some meetings, but other than like, I don't panic during these events because I'm ready. Now, I learned some things through this particular one that I wasn't fully ready for. For instance, if the water treatment system would have been out longer, it would have been a problem for me. And like, it's just nothing wrong with filling up all the tubs with water. I got 2 big 300-gallon plastic things. I should have filled those up. I was just lazy. Well, shit, dude, the thing was 100 miles away. I wasn't worried about it. Never had to worry about these storms 100 miles away into the Cat 1. All of a sudden, it turns into a Cat 4. I mean, it was none of us are prepared enough. I walked around, realized, oh, wow, I got more guns in my vault than I have hanging around in various rooms. So I pulled some of those out and got all my cars fitted up with gear. Just a few little things, they're little things, knives, some ropes, just in case.
What else
anyway,
did you learn?
My heart goes out to everybody that's suffering right now, because this is really devastating. I mean, imagine your brother and you can't find him, or your mom or your dad. Like, they live in Asheville, North Carolina, and you haven't heard from them in 3 days. You know how fucked up you'd be. So back to the arbitrage. The arbitrage gets big enough. A guy like me gets on an airplane, goes to Mexico, picks up a bunch of shit, drops it here, and we start the arb. There will be someone that has a generator in Colorado, and somebody's going to say, hey, I'll buy it for whatever price. And somebody's going to, that's where the arb people start filling in the gap. right? You just see a gap is anything. It could be in, for instance, well, that's not a good analogy because everybody will think I'm just rich, but every now and then I supplement things, right? So if I have some staff, I might supplement some staff every month or two just to like, okay, that one person can't really do all this. So every now and then we'll fill that in. And that's not really well, it is an arbitrage because otherwise I would have to hire this team, a bigger team. So instead of me hiring a bigger team and they're moving, this is how, to take care of my house. Every 2 months, I just hire a big team. They come in and they do a little spot movement on me. What else would be arbitrages? I mean, like there shouldn't need to be an arbitrage right now because we should have the U.S. military doing it and FEMA. Okay, this should be U.S. green suits on the ground, dude. Like this is what our military is for, not fighting in some off. Like, can we have our trucks back, please, Israel? Ukraine. Hey, I mean, what's her name? That fucking idiot with 108 IQ. If that. I just heard something the other day. Said somebody leaked from her school that she has 78 IQ.
Oh yeah, that she thought it was a good thing until the next day. Well, and by the way, the Tennessee National Guard was deployed, right? And so the Virginia National Guard had to help Tennessee with the hurricane flooding. I don't know if you saw that. Well, the Tennessee National Guard's literally overseas, so they couldn't even help.
Really?
Yeah. So the Tennessee National Guard.
I didn't know that.
The Tennessee National Guard was deployed overseas, so the Virginia National Guard and police had to go in and help Tennessee with all the flooding. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, man.
And that's an interesting, by the way, you said something that I just thought was really interesting is we shouldn't have arbitrage because of the U.S. military. For some reason, that concept just sticks because I'm like, oh, that is the point. For when we have those giant gaps that need to be filled, one of the sole purposes of these institutions is to fill that gap.
Make it safe,
like,
dude.
I don't know why
Make
that's so
shit
simple,
work.
but
yeah, but like, Americans are pretty hardworking people, right? They want to work, but I mean, what do you expect when you have an incident like this? And this isn't the biggest incident in the world. I mean, shit like this does happen, right? And I held a space last night that went for 5 hours. There was 1,000 people in the room, which is a decently sized room for somebody that's not buying bots. And I'm not I'm not a famous human being. But we're running scenarios saying, hey, look, what could possibly go wrong in the next 2 to 3 weeks? If you were trying to be if you were really evil and you just did not want an election to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, what would you do? And it was amazing to me how not evil most people are. Like, I didn't hear any really creative things until one woman came up. And the one woman came up and said, hey, look, we got however many illegals. If anyone will notice, there's no more illegals coming over that have children and they're women. They're all men your age. War ready. Yeah. Then she said, how much would it cost some group that's bringing all these people over to give each one of those persons a knife or a handgun? Weaponize the outsiders and just let mayhem go. Now and she said it in less than 48 seconds. It was one of those pitches, right? But I don't think people are that evil. I could come up with a lot of things I would be doing this week or next that would just throw this place into further chaos. And some of them are being done right now. Don't support. This is what I would do. Do not support this. For the next 2 weeks, nobody from this sector is going to vote. We don't need anybody voting from these sectors. Okay. So they're out. They're going to be pissed off and too tired to vote and dead. then I would probably continue to shock the system in other areas. I would let the port thing happen. In fact, I would encourage it to happen. Throw the world in further chaos. And hey, let one of my allies or one of my enemies come over here and do something stupid in a couple big cities. And anything else that I'm open to all suggestions. In fact, I am so evil at this point, Sam, that I am open to anything, dude. Okay, like literally anything. I could get so evil if you tell me, hey, look, everything you've been doing since George Bush, every bad thing you've ever done is getting ready to come out, bro. I'll do anything to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
anything. Okay, I'll drop a fucking nuke. I mean, somebody was telling me, hey, there's nuclear power stations in the Carolinas that are underwater. These things cannot live underwater very long. So, well, I would love to know from people, what do you think is going to go wrong in the next 2 or 3 weeks that would prevent us from having an election? Because you all know now, if you haven't figured this out, they do not want Donald Trump in office. They don't want a guy like me serving him. Like, really, nobody wants me in there, dude. I will fire a lot of people, like, and not even think about it. Okay, because we're going to give money anyway. You're going to give money, go home, dude. Invest it in, here you go. Here's some money. Get the fuck out of the office. Go invest it in Bitcoin if you're smart. And don't go get a job. Go get a real paying job from somebody like Gary. And they're not going to know it. These people couldn't work. Can you imagine a government person working for me? I mean, they'll show up at 9 o'clock and go, hey, Gary, I'm here now. I'm ready to do. Well, I'm not ready for you. Yeah, but I'm here. I'm ready. Well, I'm not ready for you. I don't really care. I'm doing something. I'm talking to my lawyer. They'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to go home and wait for you to instruct me what to do. This isn't, you can't build a country like this, guys. You cannot build a country like this with a bunch of fucking pussies, okay? Snowflakes just walking around doing nothing. I mean, if I'm an immigrant from Venezuela and I'm looking around at your age, guys, now you're a big boy, but like most of you guys don't have any muscle. Like, I think I could knock out most of your buddies. Like, just, yeah. I think I would like, they would get so scared for me because I would become so like freaked out. And I'm a skinny little guy, but I'll fucking rail somebody, dude. I'm just not going to put up with a bunch of bullshit. I'm not sure this is better than therapy, but it's a lot funner.
It's cool. I think it's cooler than therapy. I think therapy's overrated.
Well, with the kind of fucking therapist you meet, for sure, dude. No, look how red you went. I got to tell this story.
That's so funny.
Oh my God, we probably shouldn't tell that story, but anyway, I won't tell that story just yet. But Gary is ready for the octagon. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'll bring a fucking gun to a fight like that.
We got to put him in the. We got to put you in the. What's the fight called that we went and saw? The crypto fight. We got to get you in the crypto ring.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm too broken, but it would be funny, me and my brother in there. Yeah, that is very funny. Me getting into the octagon.
Is your brother gonna? Was any of his real estate affected in Tampa Bay? And two, does this becoming a buying opportunity? I always notice every time there's a hurricane in Florida, people will come and buy up what was hit by the hurricane because it's still a valuable location.
Well, I don't know how he got impacted. I know a lot of people in Tampa did get impacted. I don't know. I have no idea if he did. Would it create a buying opportunity? I think the question will be if this is as big as I think it is, which would be bigger than Katrina. Now I said it's $250 billion. Well, Katrina was 285. This will be bigger than Katrina. It was, the experts said it was at least 110 Friday. And they're pretty good at this stuff. You know, they've been doing this a long time now. The problem's going to be insurance, man. Okay, like I will expect immediately that Lincoln, who does my insurance here, I pay $57,000 a year for insurance.
Holy shit!
Could triple, dude. If it triples, it makes the house. You get to a point where you go, whoa. Do I want to pay $157,000 a year for insurance when nothing happened here? Now, what would have happened if this thing would have hit us direct? The truth is, it did hit somebody direct, and now all the insurance carriers in that whole Cedar Bay area, they'll raise their rates. Then the economics change for the house. So would it create an opportunity? I'm sure. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunity. I mean, there's going to be a lot of boats and cars you can buy too, dude. You know, they got water in them.
Like what? Like your insurance example. Insurance to me is such a crazy game. But I'm thinking, okay, who then buys the house? Like, does someone just say, well, I'm willing to pay for the insurance? Or does it get to a point where individuals, because of the insurance, can no longer get the home, and corporations?
If you have a mortgage, they require you to have insurance.
So corporations just come and take it, right? Would a BlackRock come and then say, hey, we're going to own these homes because individuals can't afford the insurance?
Yeah. Yeah, could that you could have big buyers packaging up and bulking insurance, but I don't think it's going to change the insurance. The insurers are still going to be sitting there going, shit, how do we calculate these losses? So it's going to impact at Cedar Creek. Will the government allow anyone to build another restaurant that just got wiped out? Like at some point you go, hey, why do we keep doing this over and over? Well, maybe they shouldn't be built there. Cedar Creek was right where it got slaughtered. Okay. It was right in the middle, right wherever it is. Let's say it's Treasure Island, dude. And
gotcha.
Hey, why are we building another restaurant right there? You just got wiped out, man. You know, like at some point, like you'll hear these comments from people that live in the Midwest. You guys deserve to drown. Who the fuck would live on the Gulf? Okay, well, I don't really think, I would say it like that. I grew up here. I'm not complaining. Okay. I'm not asking the United States government to take, I chose to live here. If I have to pay $157,000 for insurance, I'll either decide to leave or I'll pay it, or I'll arbitrage it. Which the way I would arbitrage is, fuck off, dude. I'm not paying that. I'll pay it myself. The bank then says, no, you have to do that. Okay, here, I'm paying off the house. I no longer have a mortgage with you. But it would massively impact real estate. This is why I'm negative real estate, dude. Okay, if you, like, y'all, I did a lot of video work. You and Ross have a lot of work to do. Because I did a lot of work on those videos and on Twitter of what was going on. I was up till 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, I was digging it, having fun, right? And I got 2 kids here. Like, I have a responsibility to take care of these kids. And you're living through an experience, right? So you might as well dig it. But I'm up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about stuff I have little control over anyway. There's nothing I can do. I mean, other than me moving my paintings in the garage where you work, that painting room, that's all we did, man. I just removed some paintings, which needed to be moved anyway. Got them off the floor because I thought that little area was going to get wet. Beyond that, though, there's nothing you can do, man. You hunker down and wait. But this has to massively impact prices, dude. Like, I don't know how it doesn't impact insurance. Now the question is, well, how many homes have been destroyed? Because when you get to Treasure Island, dude, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be like, I mean, Greg G called me.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy who used to work for me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know anybody that's got a place? I'm underwater. Well, he just moved there. He's the guy convinced not to buy a house. I said, rent, dude. Now I did, like, whether he bought or rented, he'd be in the same position. I can't take him and his kids, man, and his wife. Like, I have a complicated life, right? But he's looking for someplace to live. Now, he's also going to be looking for someplace to live for a long time. Well, what if they just took out 5% of all the real estate? Whoa, what happens? There was already a shortage of homes here. So do home prices go up because you have a shortage? It's very weird. And this is not just, I'll remind everybody on Katrina, because I went to Katrina. Grant and I actually went to Katrina 5 days after it happened. If you've never done one of these, I would strongly encourage you to get in a car and go help. Spending a week in a place like a war-torn environment like Katrina was really a great experience for me. It made me grateful. It allowed me to practice helping other people and seeing how chaos is dealt with. There were people, military guys, I'm riding in their car, who are literally going after guys who are working for the police. So they're having wars between military and local cops. It wasn't everything everybody was talking about. It was like literally the cops are getting rich and the military goes in there and says, fuck, this has got to stop. I heard a judge look at a guy. We walked into a jail, found this guy on heroin, walked the guy into the jail, look at the judge. Military guy says, hey, what do you want to do with this guy? And the judge looked at him, throw him in the river. We don't have time to fuck with him. Okay, we have a major catastrophe here. If a guy's shooting up heroin, let him fucking go swimming. This is the way they deal with it in real time. It's not, oh, let me call HR. Let me call the drug dependency department and make sure they get on the program. The guy's like, fucking throw them in the river. I mean, policemen looking at you like, hey, look, I just unloaded my weapon on military. Like, they're freaked out.
Wow.
Oh yeah, man. Guys being on the water for 3 days with a shotgun. Can't get home, right? I mean, these stories are tragic. You see 1,000 homes turned into pretzels. When you see that in your own eyes, you're like, hey, this is a weapon, dude. This was a nuke, right? The storm was so powerful. And I'm telling you, this thing, much bigger. Much bigger. It just impact, and it's cut open the United States. So here we are. I was worried, 8 weeks ago, I was saying, shit, we're not even going to have an election. Now we're having even more issues. Okay, we have the Ukraine, we have Israel, we have Palestine, we have the Middle East going insane. We have an election. We've only had one debate. We got a debate tomorrow night. We have the port strike. That's $5 billion a day in losses. We have a 4.5 million people without power in the Midwest, in the Mideast. In what do they call that area? Tennessee, that Tennessee Valley, right? That whole Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, the Tennessee Valley. Yep. Appalachia.
And we have an economy that seems highly unstable, held together by five to seven big super businesses, the likes of Google. You see that? Did you see the $1 billion fine DOJ is trying to give Google?
No, I
And
didn't.
stock price doesn't do anything, dude. Just,
Well, what's $1 billion to Google?
I think it was even 7 billion or some crazy number, but nobody cares, man. One DOJ filing after another, and these companies get bigger. This is not the way the world was supposed to work. Okay, I don't even know why anybody goes to college if this is the game. Really, you got to ask yourself, why do you go to college when this is the game, right? When you can make this shit up as you go. In fact, why even be a good human being? Like, why don't we just turn into animals? Because I'm starting to believe that, some of these guys get away with this shit for a long, long time. Now, one other thing that I haven't brought up that I will bring up that I continue to say is a big deal for this country is Diddy. This Diddy deal, dude, this Diddy deal is, we have bigger names coming out. The polys are getting ready to show their backsides. That's the polys of the politicians and the religious leaders. I cannot wait for the religious leaders to show up. And the policemen and the congressmen and senators that are on video. This is game on, dude. I think this is everybody. This is one thing I love about myself. I would never, ever get caught in this situation. This will never happen to me, no matter what. I will never be that fucking twisted. Okay, I will never have a need to be approved by anyone such that I would do that to myself or anyone else, man. Okay, I will never see this kind of behavior go on and not talk about it. And I'm holding the people fucking seriously responsible. If you knew this was going on one time, you're a fucking evil human being, dude. If you didn't report it, you're as evil as they are, okay? In fact, you might be more evil because you're actually allowing it to continue because you got no balls, okay? You couldn't go in there and fucking participate, but you won't even go in there and say, this is unfucking cool. And all you guys that are getting ready to now do the announcement, you're day late and a dollar short, okay? There's people that have been raped for sure. Now, I think I can say unequivocally, there's a lot of weird shit going on with this Diddy thing. And most of it's felony shit. This isn't just a little funk, a freak off. This is felony shit, man. 14-year-old children. Can you imagine, bro? Can you imagine 14 years old being introduced to this world? Somebody put some pink cocaine up your face and you got Katy Perry grabbing your butt. Like, I'm all in, dude, at 14. Like, my little dick gets hard. I'm excited. Oh my God, let's go. And then 3-4 years go by and I realize, oh, I'm just a fucking sick, twisted, shameful human being. And then you blow your fucking face off, right? All these people are going to start talking to you. You can't wear this kind of evil that long until you go, hey, I need to admit that I need to go to confession. And that's what's happening here, dude. You're having people go to confession. They're like, now, the guy that won't go to confession, he's getting ready to have questions asked by federal people. And they're going to fold up, dude, like a cheap suit. Okay, these are not professional CIA people or military people that have been trained. They're going to fold up like a cheap fucking suit, man. And so who's going to be announced? I think this is big, bro. Like, it's hard to imagine. I'm just sitting here a little paranoid again and thinking people are going, Gary's like all into this conspiracy stuff. The Verizon deal, the port strike, this storm, this is going on. But man, guys, you start looking at this saying, hey, look, this has been going on since 2008. The FBI have been investigating this man. 2008. Wow, that's 16 years, right? 16 years. People, I mean, how many people have you had murdered around you? Like, I've been around a long time. I don't have a lot of my friends dropping dead from suicides with shotguns in their back, or Tupac getting shot in the middle of the morning. I don't have those friends, man. I have one human being that committed suicide in 60 years in my life, in my social circle. When I see a Clinton that has 47 people around that committed suicide, it's like, whoa, it's a little bit off stat, dude.
Yeah.
Your chart just kind of went vertical. Okay, maybe it's just they're really popular people. Oh, they knew a lot more people than you did, Gary. Okay, well, go check out the zip codes that they lived in. It's very like suspect. So I have lost trust. I was with a doctor the other day, and they do one of these. Oh, Gary, it's your annual blah blah. And hey, what are you doing? I said, well, somebody wanted to prescribe me this stuff. He said, well, why didn't you take it? I said, because I don't trust you guys anymore. I don't trust you. Don't trust your fucking medicine. Don't even know why I'm on the phone because I'm literally going to get charged $300. I don't trust you anymore. And she just looked at me, didn't know what to say. But I don't. I don't trust them. I don't trust anybody anymore. Like I have been, all the leaders in my life have let me down. And I think we ought to all get fucking angry about it and start doing something about it. You cannot just sit in your chair and listen to Twitter. At least me and Sam are picking up a microphone and we're communicating about it. I'm probably going to get banded, probably going to be sued, probably going to have to go to jail one day. I'm not trying to overly excite anybody, but I am trying to get people to wake the fuck up because this is like not America that I grew up in, man. Come on. I'm going to be dead one day. You guys, if you guys continue this, my children and your children are going to be weak. And this world doesn't give the weak anything. It takes, man. Okay, it takes. And these crazy people that are in power does not like ask for permission, man. All you guys are trying to be too nice. Oh, well, let me see if I'm wanted and needed. No, dude, power is taken over entire existence of humanity. There is no one example where power is given to someone. Oh, Sam, here, you are enlightened. Move on. You have all the control to make all the decisions. That shit does not happen, dude. It is taken, okay? And if I give it to you, somebody's going to try to take it from you. So that's my point is we are fighting against people that will go to any lengths. And for me to get on a microphone and a TV thing, because I have it, and to communicate with people and try to commune, I think that's the smart thing to do. At least it's something. I don't know what else to do. If you guys have some ideas about what me and Sam can do better to help this planet, please let us know. But like this isn't going to happen with one or two of us. It's going to require a lot of effort. Do you ever feel like, wow, man, this is like, this is starting to get really serious, and I'm feeling like I'm having to, that my future is not very predictable?
Well, I feel like we've talked about and have known things are just going to get worse. I guess the difference would just be like seeing it play out in action, right? So it just kind of is like, okay, am I preparing still? Am I prepared enough? Yeah. What's your perspective when you know chaos is coming? You just don't know when it's going to hit. Like, obviously, you're never ready. It is like preparing for a hurricane, right? Like, you can buy all the water and food and supplies you need, but then when it actually hits, then you're like, oh, I didn't think about doing this. I didn't think about doing that. Oh, I didn't realize it would hit just like this, right? So, and then once that happens, you're in the moment of, okay, well, how can I mitigate the situation?
Yeah, I think the difference, though, that I'm talking about is when I was growing up, I wasn't worried about can I navigate the future. I was just like, okay, look, can I compete? Does Gary have what it takes? Bro, today, I'm not sure if I'm you, that this is about, do you have what it takes? You just might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So when I was growing up, it's like, bro, I'm an American. I got bennies. I've got an edge here, right? I speak English, even if it's not good English. But today, I don't think anybody gives a fuck if you're American. Nobody cares, dude. Right? Like
Yeah.
I got all my buddies from the Ukraine and Poland. The Ukrainians and the Poles love me. Like if one of them came to me and one of you came to me and like, hey man, help me out, I'm like, who's the best performer? I mean, it's not, oh well, Sam's an American. Fuck. I don't care if Sam's an American. Marston's Polish. And Betty's Ukrainian. I like all three of you. I think Betty's going to crush all three of you guys. I'll take Betty. This is different. We didn't have this. I wasn't competing with Indians and Ukrainians, dude, when I was 20 or 27 or 37. You guys are competing with 8 billion people and AI. Oh, by the way, 5.6 billion live on less than $6 a day. 4 billion, 2.4 billion people live on less than $2 a day. They're never going to get help. That's the truth. Okay, there's 5 billion people. Like we're not getting to those people until we get to a couple 100 million at the very top of the food chain. Like I don't make this up. Okay, this is the way it works. You cannot help that many people. And this bullshit about having 1 million people pop in here when there's 4 billion, 2 billion people living for $2 or under. You show me somebody that's made under $2 a day and they come to America, I will show you somebody that'll work far harder than you will. For sure. And they won't care what they're going to do. They'll clean up my toilet every second. They'd wipe my ass for a job if they're making $2 a day. I mean, that sounds really crude, but like they would. And they'd be okay with it. Be like, oh, shit, he's a nice guy, man. Okay? Like $2 a day. Think about it. $2 a day. That is $60 a month, man. I cannot go to Starbucks with my 2 children for under $20. No chance. I used to be able to. Not a chance. I can't go to a restaurant for under 60 or 70. That assumes I don't tip. By the way, breakfast the other day. Oh, this is the other thing. Okay, you talked about productivity. Saturday morning, 10:30 in the morning, we're trying to get to Treasure Island to go see the damage. We stop in this funky little Bob's Dead Bar restaurant. A lot of people were there. 10:30 in the morning, stacked and packed. I was like, hey, that looks like a cool place. I probably shouldn't bring my kids to some of these places because it looked pretty like, bro, they're all drunk. Saturday, 10:30 a.m., they're all fucking hammered. They've been drinking. They have nowhere to live, man. They're living in the bar that's like half a mile from the beach and couldn't get a table. Food's horrible. When I did get a table, they served beer and beer and beer and beer and whiskey. And I mean, I couldn't believe the white trash I saw there just sitting there getting slaughtered. The productivity now will be, and in fairness, there's nothing you can do. Their cars are done.
Yeah.
Their houses are done, and you can't get to the road. And the sheriff's department here just finally said, or the mayor said, hey, open the damn beach, man. And the cops are going, hey, it's dangerous, man. And he's like, hey, open the beach. You know, like it's a bad thing not to have beaches open. But so anyway, I thought that was a peculiar thing on a Saturday morning, 10:30, like, wow, I'm just trying to grab breakfast. And the whole little area is just completely fucking drunk. I mean, not out of control, but it was a weird thing to see on a Saturday morning. Okay, buddy, should we end the thing? Because I'm just chittering and chattering here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Unless there's more to talk about. I've got another.
Well, we'll be going live at 5 p.m. and you'll actually, today's one of your interviews with Clean Spark, and they might be hopping on your Twitter Spaces tonight as well.
Oh, that is awesome. So have So Clean Spark's joining the show this afternoon. I'm interviewing them.
So you're going to be doing an interview with them at 4, and then you're going to cut it off at 5, and then you're going to hop to the spaces, and they should be hopping with you.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, good. And I'm meeting the CEO or who's
the CFO and head of strategy will be on your interview, and then hopefully they'll both come on the Twitter spaces after.
Okay. Look at Josh Bryant's here. Hey, Josh, thank you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Always good to see you. I look forward to doing that. I actually own some Clean Spark. We should always tell people this if we're interviewing some of these people, but this should be a good interview with this team. And we're going to ask them about their fuel costs. We're going to ask them about, surviving the future as a miner. Also, hey, what does geography do for you? Do you get impacted by storms like this? How do you acquire your energy? What's your strategy in one of the most competitive markets in the world? That'll be fun. Let's see. Chip Man says, hey, if you guys have questions that you want me to ask Clean Spark, hit me right now. Okay. We're going to close this in a couple of minutes, but hit me up with all these questions in the comment section. Here's Chip Man saying Clean Spark has a bite coming up as well on dilution. Yeah. I don't know what bite is, but let me know. I'm interested in the dilution issue. We're waiting for you to come fishing. Alex, let me know the best months because I like it. I like that idea. I need to catch some rooster fish, man. Is it rooster fish or yeah, it's rooster fish. One of the greatest fish in the world to catch. What else we got here? Martin Kruplik. I love doing these comments, man. We do require the good people side to hold together and spread it. I've been brought up to be nice. Anyway, I show kindness. Thank you, man. I have some idea. I've been watching the show for a while, building project landslide cultural degradation and offer a platform. Hey, it's awesome, dude. Hey, there's going to be a lot of things people can do to add value to this world. So well done to you. Let's see here. December and January, Costa Rica. I like it. Might bring my kids. Man, I'm starting to get a little too old to ski. So maybe fishing in Costa Rica. My kids hate fishing though. Let's see. Somebody's talking about preparedness. It's better to be prepared with basics. It's not going to be 100% perfect. Yeah. So guys, just on that, Sam comes in here. I didn't expect Sam to drink all our water, so I have less water than I thought I had. But see, now what I have to do is I will now refill everything we used. So I'm going to go out. I'll buy a couple more pallets of water. I'll replenish it so I'm not freaked out next time. Get some more batteries, get some more flashlights. It's always easier to get them when there's not a fucking emergency. It's just the way it goes, man. Sam, anything else from you?
No. We'll see y'all at 5, and then I think doing something nice for everybody's been the theme of today's show. That's for certain. Now, Gary, you and I have plenty of opportunities to do that. Yeah,
guys. We're going to end the show right now. I am going to ask you to go do something special for someone. Remain anonymous. Doesn't have to be easy now. We've been doing this now for a few months. Okay. Like sometimes you can go out of your way. Okay. Start stretching your game and making it bigger and better. I actually believe that if everybody woke up one morning and said, hey, I'm going to go out and help someone today, which we don't normally think about it, like, hey, go have a good day. How about we start telling everybody, instead of have a good day, hey, go out and do something nice for somebody today. That like for me walking out of the house and somebody going, hey man, make sure you do something nice for somebody today. You're a powerful cat, dude. You're a powerful cat, A1. You can actually influence people. Okay. Like, see, this to me is what we should be telling people. Hey, look, you're more able than you think you are. Don't look at me and Sam and go, whoa, look what they're doing. I can get on like, I'm not special, dude. I've learned how to communicate and think. And and then I think, and then I communicate. I'm just putting myself out there. I would feel guilty if I didn't. So I would just encourage you to look around, not expect other people to do any of this. You're the hero, man. I'm the hero. This is it. This is it. Superman ain't showing up. Clark Kent's not showing up. Batman and Robin aren't showing up. And most certainly Joe Biden and Kamala. And in fact, Donald Trump's not going to show up to help me personally. But I have to do the work. So I'm going to ask you, all you guys, to do something really nice for somebody. If you're not working hard today, take the day off and go help a neighbor. There's so much shit to clean up. It's impossible to do it all by yourself, or just buy somebody a glass of water, man, cup of tea, something. Or leave $100 at the restaurant. Make sure that the lady keeps the tip and it doesn't go to the management through the credit card system. Or leave $100 with the cashier and say, hey, next guy that walks in, buy them dinner free, and don't tell them who bought it. These are really easy little life hacks that are going to make you feel better about yourself. And if somebody sends me a note one day and says, dude, I impacted this lady's life because I did this little hack, how cool are me and Sam going to feel? Like, we're going to be like, hey, yay, win for the team. So you guys go out and be great, and try to do more for the world around you than you take. Sam, close it off for me.
That's great. Hey, guys, we'll see you at 5. Twitter Spaces, be there. Make sure to retweet, share the space when we post it, and we'll see you then.
Awesome, guys. Be strong. Good job there, Sam.
Yeah, that